And welcome everyone to a WAC chat. Andy Katz here with Todd Phillips, head coach at Utah Valley. And Todd, there's something about Utah Valley. I don't care who the head coach is, but now it's your turn. This is a consistently good program, year in and year out. It seems like there's great alignment, and we're into another year. About on the doorstep of conference play. You guys only 3 losses, playing really well. What's in the secret sauce there?
Yeah, no, I think one of the things I've learned as a coach is to when you're with good guys like Mark Matson, you follow the same recipe and you keep the same things going and that's what we've tried to do here, over my career here is do the same things we've been doing. We're always big. We've done a really good job rebounding the ball and being physical. So, but yeah, and we got a good group of guys this year and trying to do the same thing. Just kind of keep working and getting better every day.
So talk to me about roster management and construction, and even someone like Jackson, who, wasn't like from peer-to-peer program, seems a little bit more, developed in terms of being, a really outstanding player for you. Well, how'd you put this whole group together?
Yeah, I mean, it's always funny you talk about this, and people are like, "Oh, here's a secret sauce." I don't know if there's a secret sauce to this. For us, I'm a JUCO guy at heart, so building a roster every year is kind of second nature. But you got to be flexible, right? You got to be able to go after the best guys you can get. You got to build within your program. I mean, two of our best players are homegrown, right? Trevin Lenhart was a redshirt, basically walk-on for us, who now in his fourth year is one of the best point guards in the country. Jackson Holcomb, the same thing, a redshirt guy who just got better, and developed in the program. And then you bring in really talented transfers, Tyler Hendricks has been huge for us as a transfer in here. Isaac Davis, we got like 4 Isaacs, so I try to nickname them. So if I throw a nickname out there, you're like, who are you talking about? We got a bunch of Isaacs, a few Tylers. So, you got to go a little bit of ways. And obviously, then we got to go get junior college kids in there. Isaac Hawkins has been a big part of that. So, that's kind of the sauce. I don't know if there's a secret to it, but you got to be flexible and be able to what you can get, you go after hard and try to build from there.
What's interesting, when I was covering the WAC in the 90s, a lot of these programs obviously, sort of mined the JC, pool. And then there was a time where everyone sort of went away from it. A lot of that had to do with new academic rules and sort of things that changed over the landscape, during that sort of 10 to 12, 15-year period. And now I feel like they're coming back again. What is it about, and you've been in that world, the JC athlete that you've seen evolve, to where, they can be these major contributors, that not everyone has the same path, and they can land at a place like Utah Valley or anywhere around the country.
Yeah, I think there's really good talent. One, there's getting better and better coaches doing that. Not that there were bad coaches 20 years ago, but it just kind of keeps cycling through. I think the thing that really I notice is a lot of times kids in the junior college have a good mojo coming in. They have a lot of confidence because you're recruiting kids who have good success, right? And they played a little higher level than high school. And a lot of those kids, like at Salt Lake, we tried to get Division I transfers, guys that were going to go down, and they got their mojo back. Maybe they went too high initially. And then they get that, and then all of a sudden you're getting them as a D1 guy back who now has had a lot of success, and they know what it takes. That freshman year, people are just swimming, right? No matter how good you are as a player, you're swimming, trying to figure it all out. And I think some of those kids who then transfer to junior college now get that success again and know what they need to do at the higher levels. And so, like, I mean, you've seen our track record here. We've had a lot of success with junior college guys. They've built our program, but that also comes with the guys that you home grow, and that's not easy these days, is to keep those guys as well.
In terms of the schedule, again, very hard to get people to come and do any kind of home and home. I thought it was great that you were able to, correct me if I'm wrong, was the Irvine game at home?
Yeah, Irvine game was home, and that was part of an MTE. So
Right.
that
So you got that
there,
at home, and then you went down to Cancun, but
right?
still getting someone on your campus like that, obviously, who's had great success like Irvine, a huge plus. And then you go on the road, a couple games later after splitting down there, and you beat a Bowling Green, which is a team that, had a win over, if I'm not mistaken, was an ACC school.
Kansas
Um,
State.
What's that?
They beat Kansas State.
Big 12, yeah, Kansas State, thank you. So, like, that's a quality win. You have a neutral, sort of neutral against Santa Barbara in Salt Lake, get them. You beat your, in-state Weber. I mean, like, these are quality wins that if you're fortunate, to win the league, like these things matter for what kind of seed you can get. No one wants to be a 16. You obviously have better chances if you're a 13, 14 than even a 15, 16. We're playing the long game here, but how do you feel about where your sort of resume is at this point before you head into the league?
Yeah, no, I love where our resume is at. It's kind of interesting. You try to create the schedule every year, and it's a huge component, right? To be making your team. And I thought we did a great job. My Dobo, Trevin Stranger, did an unbelievable job creating that schedule. I mean, I think we're 70th toughest in the country, so it's not, And then you look at that, and I'm like, oh, it's too hard. We need to try to do some other things. But like you talked about, it's so hard to get teams at home, and that's not just Utah Valley. That's everybody in the country. You look around and how many really good teams are going into really good venues to play. They just don't anymore. And so to get a couple of really good teams in here was huge. That strength of schedule and to be able to win some games with that tough strength of schedule. I think ours over the last 4 or 5 years has actually been too difficult. We tried to say, hey, we need to be about 150 to 200, and it didn't happen that way. And so it's good where it is, and I do think that helps with the end of this season and all that stuff going on with the NCAA.
In these bloated leagues where they don't play everyone twice, obviously the numbers are limited right now in the WAC. As you head into the league play, there's going to be a lot of familiarity with these teams. You're going to play everybody. You're going to go home and home. As you enter that process, the scouting the second time around, and I know you have one more non-con before you get into the Cal Baptist game after the holidays. But looking at the league race and the way it's going to play out, there will be a true champion. How do you look at how this thing's going to go with like a true home and home with this group?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't like to think about it. It's a nightmare. Because I've done this quite a bit. Obviously, in junior college, the same thing. We are in the Region 18, so you played everybody 3 times, and it's not only the third, it's now the fourth, right? And you get to know each other so well. And so what comes into now is overthinking yourself, right? That's what the hard thing is. So you beat somebody, do you keep your same game plan, or they're going to make adjustments? Are you making adjustments to what you think they're going to do? And so sometimes I feel like you almost outcoach yourself. And so that's a big thing, as I've told my staff, because most of these guys haven't experienced it before, but I have. I've been a part of it, and there's no answer, because it's like, okay, you beat them twice, can you beat them a third time? If you beat them a third time, can you beat them in the tournament? How does that all come into play, and the mindset of your guys? And so, our focus right now is to continue to get better. I've watched some of these episodes, and it's like all the coaches are saying, we got to get better now and just kind of grow through the season. And I think one of the things is a good team is, can you learn from your mistakes? Can you, hey, we didn't play very well, but we won, or we didn't play very well and we lost. How can we grow from that so we can play our best basketball, come March time?
All right, last thing for you, Todd. On the court, where can this team get better over the next 2 months?
I think for us, it starts on the defensive end. When our defense is really good, it helps our offense. Our offense has been pretty consistent, but it's the defensive end. It's controlling the paint, owning the paint. We got some pretty physical guys who can rebound. We got good length. And so it comes on the defensive end. When we get stops and make it hard for teams, we're really good in transition. And so continue to grow our defense. And I think the second thing is our young guys continue to come along. I think the strength of this team so far this year has been we've had multiple guys step up. When our best players, Jackson Holcomb, isn't playing well, or Trev's not playing well, we've had guys step up and play off the bench, and that's been so vital for us to win games. And so I think it's continuing for our bench to develop.
Appreciate it, Todd. We'll be tracking how you guys are doing over the next couple months.
Appreciate it. Thanks for all your help.